right, welcome back to Ladies' Night. We are glad you decided to come back. And we didn't scare you away from last time.
Maybe it won't be as long as last time.
We have an alarm set.
I didn't feel like 40 minutes.
Don't waste time, Heather.
Sorry.
So we're hoping to keep it at 20 minutes. I know for me, sometimes if I have to watch a long Facebook post, I don't always follow through the whole time. So,
Although I did hear from a lot of people that they made it all the way to the end
woohoo!
from who I talked to.
That's
They are
good.
troopers. Good job.
The true supporters, the true fans.
All right, just a quick reminder. My name is Jessica.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Cassie.
So if you didn't remember who we are, hopefully you do now. We're just going to give you our hope for tonight is just kind of update you kind of what's going on in our families, maybe the same things happening in yours, so you don't feel all alone about that. And then also to kind of give you maybe one tip each about maybe something you might want to try or something maybe we're doing to kind of pass this time. And then our topic for tonight is joy. So we will be sharing our favorite Bible verses about joy and what they mean to us. So that's the plan. So maybe that'll make you stick around then. All right. I guess I can go first in the update. I will say we have reached that time where the honeymoon is over. I'm sure. I mean, at first you're all excited. Oh, family time.
E-learning's so cool.
Yes. But last night we just kind of reached a boiling point where we were just kind of done with being together so much, done with kind of, I don't know, our tensions were higher last night than what they have been. I think for me, I know I ended up closing the library this week, so that added stress, and then BJ has stress, and so that stress kind of erupted. And then our kids are just not as fond of each other as they were at first, so they have started fighting more. So not great news to share, but yeah, I'm sure some of your families might have reached that same point, especially now that e-learning's been going on. I know I have a few kids who like it, and I have a few who are so ready for you teachers to be back in their lives, in person, not over the computer. So anyway, I do want to make a shout out to all the teachers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so thankful even now that we know that school won't be reopening until next year, that you guys are still putting forth the effort to help our kids to hopefully be as prepared for next year as possible. So since I'm sitting next to two teachers, thank you for everything you are doing. We appreciate it as parents. So that's what's happening in the Fouts household. Sorry, it's not more chipper.
I guess with the Whitney household, all I've done for the last 4 or 5 days is dishes and laundry. Dishes and laundry. I pack the dishwasher and let it run during the night, and then in the morning I unpack it, and by the end of the day it is full again. And then I fold laundry. I feel like I am just on a roll. Like, I don't have any laundry that's dirty anytime because it's either in the
Wow.
washer, in the dryer, or I'm folding it. So that's what I've been doing. I know. Yeah, it's been nuts. So
So is that part of nesting or just?
it has to be part of nesting because I hate laundry.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law will attest to that. But I think it's also just trying to keep the house clean.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think there's just moments in the day where my kids start getting antsy with each other, and so then I try to, I don't want to say take sides, but I'll try to help Eliza out, or I'll try to help Silas out, and then they tend to feel like I'm taking sides. And then nap time has just been a monster in itself. Otherwise, I guess the biggest thing that has happened for us is my mom came up today, so now I have someone else to help me.
Full laundry.
Full laundry,
Full
or at least
dishwasher.
help with the kids, at least to give me a break so that I'm not constantly trying to keep them entertained or I guess keep them in line. But otherwise, it's just we're still in that waiting game. Like I was telling them before this started, Silas was on the couch last night drinking milk, and it opened, like the top fell off, and there was milk everywhere on the couch, and Steven thought that my water broke. And I said, no, it did not break. We're just wet because of the milk. So that's about as exciting as it's gotten at our house. Other than that, I just wish that the weather would stay nice.
Yes.
Like, it was super
So
beautiful
nice
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes.
super
So nice.
beautiful.
Now it's like,
Yeah, now it's back to the dreary
Yeah.
kind of, and that kind of sets the mood too.
I agree. Yeah.
So, how about you, Cassie?
Our lives are about the same. We bought Super Smash Bros. I did some research. I'm getting pretty good. We didn't really know what to do the first time, but we're gonna get there. It's gonna be big. But Nate's still going to work. I mean, so his routine hasn't really changed. I'm trying to find a routine.
Good.
Our dogs love that we're home.
Yeah.
They just get a lot of walks, a lot of attention, a lot of snacks. And yeah, some Super Smash Bros. So if you're looking for a way to take your aggression out, just beat each other up on the video game. Because we have had no issues because of that, I think, maybe. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Right. I should consider that for my children. That might be better. Yeah.
Yeah. It works out well. You just... We're good.
Sweet.
Yes.
Man. Excellent. Good. What is a tip? Do you have any tips or anything that's working for you that we might want to share? And
I think for me, it's been having a routine, but realizing my routine won't be the same every single day.
There's no.
As a teacher, I know that I'm going to wake up at 6. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. Then I'm going to go to school, and then I'm going to teach this, then this, then this. And that's not what it looks like. But I have been taking Post-it notes, and I write on there 6 to 8:30 or 6 to 8. And I know that time I'm going to do blank. And then at this time, I'm going to try to do this. So it's something that's always moving, always changing. But it's been a routine, and I set it every morning. So it's and I have different milestones. And I get real excited when I throw the Post-it note.
that's good. So you have some predictability.
Yes.
That's good.
And then if I don't catch up, I have to catch the Post-it notes up, and then I sometimes get ahead. It's like a little competition.
I think that's the biggest thing too for us is that what Stephen and I started at home is we call it the quarantine list, project list. And so we have different things that we're okay, we know that we've been wanting to get this done for a few months or even just a couple weeks, or if we think of something that day we want to make sure we get done, we add it to the list. And so he's got some outdoor things that he's been working on. If you drive past our house right now, there's a lot of trees that he has cut down. And so if anyone wants free firewood, you are more than welcome to come over to our house and take the wood. But our yard is a mess right now. So that's one of his projects he's working on. I guess one of my projects, I've actually been working on some school things for next year, partly because I have everything laid out for my online learning. We actually just started online learning at Norfolk today. And so today was kind of a different day because it was okay, are we Zooming in with our classes? Are we, answering questions via email? But basically just checking in with the kids, seeing how they're doing. I also had a meeting with all my English 8 teachers. And so it was just nice to talk to them and see, what they've been working on throughout this just today to figure out how this is all going to work out for us. I know students were still going to school and picking up packets of homework and things. So like I said, I've been working kind of on next year's things only because I can only do so much. My maturity sub is going to be taking over anyway. And if she has questions, we've already we included her in on our Zoom meeting today. And we said, if you have questions, ask any of the other teachers. You can ask me, but any of the other teachers, they said they'd be more than willing to help her out, especially during this time. So yeah, just another kind of to-do list that we've been working on. So, and then obviously just waiting. I know that if any of you out there want to do a goose chase, Stephen threw together a goose chase today.
Really cool.
So check that out. It should be posted on the City of Battle Creek
It is on the City
page.
of Battle.
Awesome.
So that's another one of his to-do list things that I know you and Cassie and Stephen were kind of texting back and forth about as an option just to get some of the older kids doing things too.
That's great.
Yeah. So
That's good. Is there any prizes or anything for it? Is it just
top
for fun?
apparently top 3 participants get prizes. I don't know what the prizes are. Stephen,
I was not part of that discussion either.
I also
just said-
told him, I said, are we are we buying these prizes for the people? And he said, I don't know. We're just going to make sure that there's prizes. But
So is there a time limit? Do you know? Do they have to do it?
all I
within a
know
certain-
is he's posting different challenges every week. So he's adding
Oh,
challenges.
Oh,
so
so
this
like,
is going to go
yeah.
on for a while.
Yeah.
It's like an expansion pack
Yeah.
every week.
So it's like, there's like maybe, I don't know if he said 35 or 40 challenges right now. He did say that there were quite a few girls already that are apparently are bored. And so they've been doing, like, they've got a lot of the challenges already done.
Oh,
He was
good.
laughing at them as he was checking out the videos that have been posted. But yeah, so week by week, he's going to be adding some challenges so that it's not just like
Yeah.
1 week and done, but it's throughout the quarantine is what he's calling it. So
That's really cool.
That is cool. Good job.
I am glad he did that. That's neat because if you don't know, there is the teddy bear hunt going around in town.
I've
Which
heard you
is
can find over
awesome.
100 bears.
I know. It's crazy.
I
It
found
was-
about 7, so I'm really bad.
Well, and we've been walking every day, and so we walk at different places in the town. And so yeah, every place we've gone, we've seen. different
If you have a
bears.
teddy bear, bring it to my house because we don't own one. So like people are like, look, there's a dog. I'm like, yep, there she is.
That's funny.
We don't own any teddy bears,
It's okay.
but I'll put up the second floor.
So yeah, so if you have young kids or even big kids,
Yeah.
who doesn't like to see a teddy bear? So yeah, so if you don't know what it is, people from in their houses, businesses, they have started to put up teddy bears in their windows that you can go on a bear hunt. Because the book We're Going on a Bear Hunt, one of my favorite books of all time.
Little literacy plug.
Yes,
Check.
yeah. So, yeah, check that out for sure. I know the church has one, so if you walk around the church, you might not know which window it's in, but
I've
look
seen
for
it.
that one. I know the
I have
library
not.
has one. I don't know if our house still has one. I don't know if my kids actually got it to stay in the window.
See, my house does, but the screen is so dark that you probably can't
Oh,
see it.
yes,
So
the
we're
tinted
trying.
windows. Yes, I know. I know.
Yes.
And I think, I could be wrong, but I think Bree Schultz and is she doing an artwork?
Oh
She's
yeah, and to
doing
put
some-
in the windows, just to
Yeah.
brighten up her
So,
windows.
Yep.
And I've seen that thing too where people take paint, like window paint, and they put a cross and they make it look like a
Oh,
stained glass
neat.
window.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that for Nate and I.
That's a good
We'll
idea.
just paint up our window.
And I have to say, there are a group of children, I think I know who they are, who are going around and just writing really sweet messages for people in their, I think it's mainly the businesses, but I'm not sure about that. I'm calling them the sidewalk angels.
I called them the Mad Chalkers earlier.
That's probably good. So heads up to you guys. I just think that's an awesome thing
Yeah.
that you're doing. I know in the library, both May and I were pretty encouraged to see that.
Yeah.
It did lift our spirits. So,
Yeah.
so it's really neat how the community is kind of coming together and finding things to do. I love that now that there's something for the older kids.
Yeah.
I think I actually saw 2 girls that were out and about doing it today.
Yeah, I think I
So-
did too. They were on a move.
So I just think that's a really, really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, take advantage of those. I guess one tip I have, it's not really a tip, it's just something that I think is kind of cool if we think about the historic nature of what we're going through right now. I do, for the library, I do a book club out at the assisted living at Community Pride. And we just went through, we are 1 chapter shy of finishing The Children's Blizzard, which is about the blizzard that hit, oh gosh, I'm gonna get my dates wrong, but way back, like pioneer days. And it's interesting because without people's journals, without what they wrote down, we would not have the stories that
Yeah.
we have of that. So if you're older and you like to journal and write, if you're younger, if you're a kid, have your kid write down their feelings, what they're going through, what they think
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
If you're older, write down what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how it is for you, what you've experienced, and hopefully we'll save some of those
Yeah.
stories because who knows, in 100
I survived
years.
COVID-19. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Just assign our English
I
classes.
thought about-
so that-
Dear 5th grade, your challenge is to write the next I Survived book.
I think that's a
Here it
great
is.
challenge. That would be so neat
Yeah,
to
so
hear.
St. John students is coming at you. Looking at you, 5th and 6th grade, looking at you.
So yeah, so let everyone know what you're going through because in 100 years they won't know what. Well, I hope they don't know what this
Right.
is like. I hope this is not something that we experience often.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of my tip. I lost track of what time it was. All right, so we'll move on to joy.
Joy.
So we're going to share our favorite Bible verse, or maybe a Bible verse. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but a Bible verse that talks about joy and kind of what you feel about that. So
Heather.
I'll go first. I had to write it down because pregnancy brain, I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head. I chose Psalm 94:19. It says, "When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy." And I feel like a lot of us are feeling that anxiety. I had a friend on Facebook post something about how it might feel like we're going through a stage of grief, and we kind of are, in the sense that we're losing a lot of things at this time in our life, especially for some of the students who are graduating, maybe the 8th graders who are now, leaving a certain school and going to be starting at a different school next year. Myself personally, like knowing my kids are not going to be able to come and visit us in the hospital when the baby's born. And so there's that kind of mental, I guess, I don't want to say like stagnant part of me where I'm dwelling on those thoughts and that's causing me anxiety. But you shouldn't let those thoughts like persevere and turn into something nasty or something that is going to cause you fear. And so when looking at this verse, again, when anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. So just reminding ourselves that God's constant. He's the same as he was yesterday, today, and forever, past this point that we're seeing ourselves in. And so even in this state that we are in, he's still offering himself as kind of a release from that anxiety. And so instead of being fearful, we should try to find those cheerful moments, those moments of joy. And it can be small moments, like making breakfast for your kids, enjoying that time with them, or when Eliza does have quiet time and I can like step aside and have my meeting with my teachers and have that adult time that I'm missing out on, because like as teachers, it's part of our schedule where you get to converse with people your age, people that are, doing the same jobs as you. But then when our school has basically shut down, one of my best friends that I'm teaching with next door, I don't get to see her every day. And so that's just a weird like transition from, we did it day by day by day and now it's done.
Yeah.
So having that time today was really nice for me. So that moment of joy that I was able to find, making sure that my mom got up here safely, and she did not stop to go to the restroom.
Oh.
I'm sure she'll kill me that I said that, but she made sure that she did not drink any water. And she made it.
Dehydration.
She was concerned about the restrooms being open. But she's here now, so that's nice. So she was like, you can have the baby anytime you want to now.
She's ready.
Yeah, so just finding those small moments throughout your day, and it doesn't have to be huge moments. Again, like I said, we're all kind of going through that mental shift, which might feel like grief. And so just kind of moving past that and finding those moments of joy.
Mine's from the book of James.
I've heard
Be prepared.
I've heard that there's a sermon.
This is big stuff here, coming at you live. So, don't need those notes. Mine's from the book of James, and I don't really know much about the book of James. I've never really dove into the book of James. So in 5th grade, when we do memory, we always have to learn the author and the audience because we talk about that being important. So the book of James is written by James, the brother of Jesus. And at the time, just in general, there's a lot of famine, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of persecution. And James is kind of a pillar, and he's kind of a peacemaker. And then I started just thinking about the fact that he grew up like hanging out with Jesus.
Which is cool.
And that is like so cool. So they do talk about, when I did some research, that he talks a lot like the Sermon on the Mount. It has that same vibe, and like the books of the Proverbs. So this is kind of a wisdom thing. But James's letter is different than all of Paul's letters. Paul writes to a specific church. James writes to everybody, and he challenges you to live your life the way you're supposed to. So specifically, verse 2, but I'm going to read a couple more verses. So it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that this is testing your faith, and faith produces perseverance." And then we could go on and on about that. But I just think about what perseverance is. And so I ran track for a long, long time. And I always tell people anything can be related to a 400 or a track and field event.
400 is the worst, by the way.
It is the worst. And I ran it for a long time. But that perseverance of, when you get to, if you've ever ran a 400, it's kind of like this. You start off and you're like, this isn't that bad. I can do this. And that's kind of how this started off, right? Like, I can do this. Look at all this time we have. We're all together.
Yes.
Then the back half, if there's wind, it's not the worst. You kind of get going. And then you get to that last turn and you realize a semi-truck has just run you over. And if any of you ran the 400, you all know what I'm talking about. And that's when you that perseverance. And Mr. Anand's thing today was about, was it perseverance? I need to look at my notes now because now I'm nervous. Endurance, perseverance, and grit. Those were the words I wanted to talk about. And the school,
Chapel service?
not chapel service, we have like a virtue of the week is perseverance. And he talked about the 400-meter dash, so naturally it makes sense. But at the end, you're just so beat tired. Like there's nowhere else to go. Your legs hurt, your lungs hurt. You think you could fall and maybe move faster if you just rolled, but you're still running, right? And I just think about, though they talk about that challenge, that perseverance, if you practice that, it's going to bring you joy. And that's what James' whole thing was about, was that through these trials, through these tribulations, joy is found. And so as I think about COVID-19 and relate it to the 400-meter dash, I just think, yeah, absolutely. It's going to have these different things, but it brings to us the sense of joy when it's all said and done. Kind of like when you're done, you finally feel your legs again.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same feeling. I think those were all my notes, but let me just double check because I had some quality things written down.
Well,
Grit.
just to think about, like, once we're allowed to not be so, like, distant from people, like, you're going to be able to go out and have dinner with your family in a nice restaurant, or you're going to be able to go to the theaters and see a movie.
Hey.
So like all those different things that you're missing out on right now, it's allowing you to be thankful for them and look forward to them later. I know that one thing that we were talking about this afternoon at home was we had been planning on having the baby's baptism on Palm Sunday. We're not going to do that now because none of our family will be able to see it. Yeah, we might have to reschedule it. It might still be during the time of COVID-19 and when we're all supposed to be social distancing, but we don't want to force it to happen when we were scheduling it to take place. We want to make sure like families able to get connected in if it needs to be over just or learning or
Not learning.
Zoom? Over
Zoom. Yeah.
How many
Sorry.
times the word Zoom has
I
become
know.
like a new thing that everyone knows.
Yeah. So like just thinking like accepting the fact like things are changing, it's fine. But looking forward to those days where you have that freedom.
Yes.
Yes, my final note was life is hard. And if anyone knew life was hard, it was going to be James. He watched his brother. Like you think about that. And I put that in retrospect, like I've never watched my siblings struggle through something like a crucifixion.
Right. I don't think anyone
I don't think anyone has. If you have, I'm sorry I made that assumption.
Yeah.
But in those hard things, in those trials, God makes amazing things. And that's what that joy we need is that through this amazing thing will happen. And that's what I did today instead of working on my homework.
It's okay.
I think I'm going to read the book of James this week. So I'm going to challenge you to read it. It's 5 chapters, one a day.
That's not bad at all.
And it's all about cool things. The Bible Project can probably explain what I explained to you even better with some cool animation. But
Right.
yeah, joy, perseverance, grit, the 400. Go track.
That's great. All right. I will just quickly put in my verse. I'm going to do Romans 13. I use my phone for my Bible, I will admit, so I had to print it out so that I didn't forget it. And it says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope." and kind of, like I said before, I think we've hit that barrier of the honeymoon's over. Kind of like we talked about, our routines are all off, just things are different. And my hope is that in a couple weeks, when we find our new routine, things will get better. But I think as we go through this, and kind of what we were saying, it's a sprint. It's not just a sprint.
It's a
probably
marathon. Yeah.
And as you hear
I was
more
never
and more,
a distance runner.
yeah. As you hear the news and you see the spread kind of coming across our country, and knowing that it probably hasn't fully hit our area yet, that's probably still to come. It's disheartening, and it makes me lose hope sometimes that we can get back to that kind of stuff. And I find this verse really encouraging, because not only does it talk about joy, but it says the God of hope. And he is the one who is going to fill us with joy. It's from him. He is the one, through the death of his son on the cross, taking away our sin, to his resurrection, which we're going to celebrate here in a couple of weeks. I don't know if we'll be able to celebrate it all as a church family.
I'm going to be here.
Heather is going to be here. She's one of the 10 people allowed in the building.
I will break in if I need to, and I'll kick people out just so I can be here.
So I
You'll have a
know,
newborn. You'll tell you what you want.
I know the leaders of the church are working on what how they're going to address that should it come to that point. But I don't want to lose sight of what that means for us, and the hope, the eternal resurrection that we have, the eternal hope we have, and the joy that fills our hearts. So even when we're going through these hard times, that hope is constant. Kind of what you said in your verse, God doesn't change. This all changes. This all, is not fun to go through at times, but God is constant. He is with us. He promises to be with us. He has fulfilling his promises of salvation, of resurrection, and most excitingly for us, that promise of eternal life with him. So for me, that's where I can find my joy, even when my children are arguing and I'm trying to figure out library mechanics that we haven't figured out yet. But we are working on those. So, and I can't imagine learning Zoom, all those other things that seem so tiring.
Oh, man.
For, especially, and I think about just all of our church family, not just those with families, but everyone. We're all kind of in that same boat of we need something to hope for, and reminding ourselves that God is our God of hope, and that we can find joy in him amidst everything that's going on.
And joy in those small things. Heather mentioned at the beginning, like making breakfast, or like, my mom, she gets to talk to us a little bit more because we do have that availability. Or like today I talked to my granny. We had quite the conversation. Granny, I hope you're watching this. Someone get this on for you. But I don't get to that time. And so looking at something like that, there is that ability that, and I even said to her when I left, I said, Granny, I'm going to be home. You can call me. As long as I'm not in the middle of a Zoom meeting, like I can talk to you. And she was like, oh, I would love that. So like that's a total different outlook on something where she can't call her kids and her grandkids whenever she wants. She knows we're doing things. And so.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The little things of joy. Go Granny.
Our stopper of the camera is not here. I think we're done for today. We're hoping to come back with you next week. We will see about Heather. So we might have a special guest, or Heather will be here, but we'll see. So
maybe I'll have the baby tomorrow, and then
I'll be like a week
fine
old
next week. Yeah, I'll be fine.
I don't know anything about babies or anything, but I would assume a week's plenty of time.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
So just stay tuned. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope you find some encouragement in this time. We sure enjoy coming to you. I know I love sitting next to these ladies and talking to them, because that's not something I get to do on a regular basis.
Joy.
Yeah, see, it's
Sparking joy everywhere. Like drops.
So excuse me as I come to the camera to turn this off.